Alrighty, good evening, and welcome to the North American division of Porsche Cup Challenge. We make our second stop here in Brazil tonight at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, otherwise known as Interlagos. And ahead of us awaits a 15-minute sprint and a 30-minute feature race with the top 8 drivers flipped. Tonight, I'm joined in the booth by Mr. Zach Purcell. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing great. Really excited to commentate a really fun series with these cars that just really focus on driver skill. They don't do much to help you out, and it's going to be a good test for him on a difficult track as well.
Yes, it definitely will be difficult, as there we see somebody going off. I believe that was Bannock Opp there. And another person going off there looks like Rob A. West. Went for a little trip. So, really interesting, really fun, twisty track, and I think it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, especially the middle section of this track. It's a lot of patience that you have to have through these, rolling the car through the corners, managing the weight transfer, and you can't be getting on the throttle too much. You don't want to be slowing down too much. This is not one that a track that you can just pick up easily and quickly be very fast at. It takes a lot of practice, and I think the guys who spent a lot of the time in the sim, throughout this last week and throughout this, hour and a half practice session, that'll pay out for him in good results tonight.
I'm hoping. It's definitely a tricky track, and they only have 4 laps to set a good qualifying time with these fixed setups they've got. So even though it's open, there are cars all over the track, and you could easily lose your lap to traffic. And it's not unlimited. It's not like a regular open session. There's only 4 laps.
Yeah, losing 1 lap is a big deal. So you have to do your best to make a good gap. And sometimes it's just luck. If a guy spins in front of you, he spins in front of you. There's nothing you could do about that. Part of it is definitely there's a skill in finding a good gap for yourself and making sure that you're far enough away from the drivers, which is easier said than done with how many people you can see we've got on track right now.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just have to see how it pans out tonight. We've still got about 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes left in this qualifying session until we go green for our first heat.
Yeah, the top 35% of the drivers will be classified as pro, and so with right now we have 30 drivers, I believe in the session. We have even more now. We have 32 drivers. And so with that math, we're going to have 12 drivers. The top 12 from quals will be automatically qualifying as pro drivers.
That is something to keep an eye on, as we do have cash prizes for the champions and subsequent drivers, the podiums here, for the North America League. The first place driver in the pro category at the end of the season will earn themselves a whopping $30 for no entry fee here, actually. So everybody is racing, no entry fee, but there is stuff to be won.
Yeah, it's nice to have a reward to fight for at the end. With the point system being as it is, you got to be really consistent. It's just a drop off of a single point per position, and so with one good race, you can't just vault yourself up the standings. To be up there at the very top, you have to be doing well in every single race throughout the entire season.
You sure do, and I think we see some very, very, very skilled drivers in here. So that might not be too hard, but it's still not the easiest thing either.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some fast guys here. Looking like we're getting to a good amount of them having put in their 4 laps now, I think.
Yeah, we are approaching the end of that very, very busy zone. I know last week people were talking about waiting to later to do your laps, and then you go and you attack it and you go for it.
That's what I'd do.
That would be a great idea there. You just wait.
Yeah, I mean, with so many people being finished with still over 5 minutes left, there's some people that are going to enjoy a pretty sparse track out there.
Yeah, it'll be good. So we'll see how that goes. time.
Yeah, right now that border that we're talking with the pro qualification right there is Philippe Straffarelli there in 12th, and Michael McLeod there in 13th. 5 thousandths separating the two, but that's the position difference between the qualification for pro and not.
Yep. So hopefully we'll see some new drivers entering that pro category. Obviously, Gabriel Duarte, he's looking good to be a pro by the end of this qualifying session here.
Yeah, it'd be surprising to see him up there. He also had, I believe, he had the second fastest time in the practice session as well. Marco Valverde had the first fastest, but not surprising to see Duarte up there. Duarte was able to put that lap in pretty early too in the practice session, so he's clearly got a lot of pace and certainly on his way to a pole. 10th and a half ahead of Patrick Hingston there in second.
Interesting. So we've had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people finish their 4 laps. Oh, 8 now. But Gabriel Duarte's on his 4th. Patrick Hingston's on his 4th. This man, Devin Horvath, that we're spectating right now, has finished his 4 laps. Marco Valverde is into his 4th right now. So let's take a look at league owner Michael McLeod and take a ride on board with him. So through the S's, we go down, and there's a nice little straight here, nice and flat out. And we're gonna head all the way to the end of here. And we're gonna look up to that right side and look for about the 100. Get the car slowed down, turn in. This corner is slower than you think. It really feels like it should flow.
There too.
Yes, you have to watch the track limits. Make sure you stay in line, and then coming up to here, tap the brakes and ride them through all the way up on the brakes and turn it, roll back in. This track is really about being smooth and fluid on that throttle, and really, it's a really flowy racing line.
Yeah, you get into a groove with it if you're comfortable.
You definitely do. Now, he's making his way down and up this little hill. You can really use track limits here, going way off. Turn it back in, and it's flat out to the finish line just about.
Such an important corner there for your lap time.
Very, very crucial, as it's quite a long run to the finish line, actually.
Yeah, it's not quite straight, but it is flat out.
It is indeed. So, for Michael McLeod, that is 13th place. That is his last lap. Now we're waiting here. We've got Jack Buser, has one more lap after the one that he's currently on. Martial has one more, who is currently behind Jack in the standings. And Francois Schink is on his last lap. He's bringing it to the line. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Bringing it to the line. He's got a lot of yellow sectors there. Not going to improve. 27.
I believe Ali Hunt is there on his third lap, actually.
Yes. This is Ali Hunt's third lap. Look at that. That's a very nice livery. Reminds me, I don't know which esports team, but I'm sure I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, it looks nice. Ali Hunt's a driver who was third in the practice session, and is currently sitting in 14th. So that was a mistake there. That's probably a shot lap. I guess with the open qualifying, the lucky thing is if he gets to the line, he'll have the time to finish his final lap. So he did time this well, but he's going to have to put in a nice final lap because I think that he's probably lower than he wants to be right now in the qualifying standings.
It definitely looks as though, he's going to give up completely.
Yeah, I think he went off track there. I think that was...
He still had another lap if he went to the line. He's only done 2.06 laps. Interesting, though.
He's not going to have time now.
He's not going to have time. So this is Jack in that 777. No, that is Martial. That's 777s. Jack in the 47 car. Lots of yellow sectors. I don't think he'll improve either. This is his last lap.
Looking at the gaps, it's crazy how many people. I mean, the sub-100th gaps. I mean, I was talking about, 12 was the magic kind of number for the qualifying. Look at that. I mean, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. They're all like within 100th of each other. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is rather close. So now we'll have the gridding procedure here, and we can take a look at our grid. So let's take a look. Gabriel Duarte takes the pole position here, followed by Patrick Hingston, Bannock Opp, Aiden Young, Devin Horvath, Samuel K. Sproul, Marco Valverde, Micah Hendricks, Mark Lampere, Francesco Biasiotto, Ryan Winfelt, and Marcial Chevelle. And then,
following those guys, we have Philippe Straffarelli, followed by Michael McLeod, Ali Hunt, Michael Carrillo, Jack Buser, Ariel Julien, Rob A. West, Carl Ribbing, Charlie Pouyer, Dan Barrera, Young Choi, and Aaron Hall.
ooh, then we've got Troy Fenelon, Stefan Chalafo, Francois Schink, Mark Santana, Gary Watson, Ryan Bickle, Marco Castro, and Benjamin Roche. All right, so a wonderful 15-minute sprint race coming up here for us. And Gabriel Duarte is going to be the man that leads them away.
Yeah, this is still worth points, but it also is to set the grid for the feature race, and the top 8 will be reverse gridded. Everyone else will be as they finish.
Yes. All right. So we've got cars lining up here, up and down this front straight. And the lights go on. We've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, and 5 lights go out. And off they go. Away goes Duarte, and he's got a great start up front, leading him away. No challenge into turn 1, but 3 wide behind him. There's contact, but it's not very major. Seems like everybody's through clear. I don't see any major hiccups.
A really clean start.
Very nicely done by everybody, but they are battling from head to tail of this grid all over the place. The front has kind of opened up a little bit. Not as hectic, but behind him, look at that crowd, that sea of cars, side by side, everywhere. Oh, and there's carnage in the back. Oh boy, we'll take a look at that in just a second. Once it all flattens out, we've got so much action going on right now. Mark Lampere is nicely in 8th place, the pro. But he's looking to make that 7th on the 66 car there of Samuel K. Sproul. Further down, we've got Stefan looking to take P26 off of Marco Castro. But will he be able to do it? We'll find out. There he goes up the inside. Looking good for him.
Great move there.
Very nicely done.
Great pass.
And Aiden Young is now being chased down by Marco Valverde. Aiden Young is a pro. He just qualified his way up into that space there. So let's see that get updated. Perfect. Alrighty. And now Aiden Young has that inside line. No, he has the outside line, sorry. And he loses. Contact between the two. That was net
code. Big net code there.
Oh, boy. Marco Valverde's not going to be happy about that one.
No, it's no consolation for him, but that was some pretty major net code. That wasn't on either of those drivers there.
Yeah, all right. So let's take a look back at what happened on lap 1. Here they all are going down that huge straight there. Lots of cars, lots of cars. Ooh.
Carrillo just gets just tapped slightly. And then, how are these guys supposed to avoid this,
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do. Oh, boy, that's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate for those drivers caught up in that wreck.
Yeah, Michael Carrillo and Ariel Julian specifically were two of the biggest losers from that.
Yeah, they are down 12 positions each. Marco Valverde, after that contact with Aiden Young, is down 16 positions.
Just made back one position, though.
There he goes. Dan Morera in that number 404 car. The one losing out to Marco Valverde. And, oh boy, Marco Castro. What's happened to him? Down in 29th place. Possible contact with Michael. Yeah, that's what happened. Not too bad.
Another weird one.
But they still lose places.
Yeah, looking at the guys up front, so looking like the pace to kind of lead the field right now is mid 33s. That's what that group of three up there is doing. Aiden Young there in fourth, almost 3 seconds off of third currently. So those top three guys really showing a lot of pace currently.
They are, but they are doing very well. Staying out in front and keeping it clean. That's the name of the game now, is those three have all the pace in the world to run away from Aiden Young, but too much scuffling or any contact will kind of ruin that plan for the pair of them, the trio of them, really.
Yeah, they're all running nose to tail right now, but it does seem like they're not getting too antsy about trying to make any passes. Again, it is a short race, though, so we're already 6 minutes in, and it's only a 15-minute heat. So, if you got to make a move, you got to do it pretty early.
Yeah, Mark Santana leading positions. Luckily, he was able to defend against Dan Morera, but he lost that place to Marco Valverde as he's trying to climb his way back up through the field after that contact with Aiden Young. Francois Schenk went off track for a little bit. Let's see what happened to him. In the turn one area, just goes into the dirt there.
Oh, Hingston may be making a move for first here in turn one. Oh, he backs out of it. Never mind.
All right,
They're close, though.
Here.
They're very close.
There's Gabriel Duarte, the Brazilian driver. Beautiful livery there. Looks like, reminds me of Midnight City. That one song, Very good song. That one song.
M95.
Yes. So we'll check back in with them. This is Micah Hendricks on Francesco Biasiotto in that blue car there.
Surprised to not see him try to make a move to the inside there. I kind of feel like he had the speed to get his nose in there. Oh, Hingston on Ferradura. Oh, they almost touched. They almost touched close. There. They came super close. You can't really be shooting it up the inside there, but or really there. Clearly Duarte closing off the corner there. Just making all three of them get even closer to each other.
These are some talented drivers, I tell you. There goes Hingston side by side. Oh, contact. And they touch.
Yeah, that's just going the outside was never going to work there. Duarte had the better line.
Yeah, Duarte keeps it ahead after some minor door banging. But, rubbing's
racing. It's not
racing.
over yet.
Exactly. Rubbing is
Duarte goes a little
racing.
wide.
Now Hingston's got that run on him.
This is closer than he was last lap, and he almost made a move last lap, so he may have the confidence to do it here to turn one.
Vanek Opp just lurking in the background there.
Me. Oh, he broke pretty
side
early
by
there.
Side. Oh, and they touch
that was
again.
Bigger collision there.
And now that's going to allow Vanek Opp to just slip through.
What an opportunistic move there. Great to just play it cool, stay close enough to get through, and almost an inevitable tussle happened.
So that's what happened there. They got banging doors, and Vanek said, "Thank you, I will take that." And through he went. Back further in the field, we have Michael McLeod, league owner, in that very P-Cup Challenge branded Porsche there. He was getting pretty close to Martial, but not anymore. Now Jack Buser's going for a move on him, and he's going to make it.
Yeah, you kind of have to, going into Ferradura there, I mean, it's hard to bet. You kind of just have to give up if you feel like the other guy's got the advantage on you. It's not one that you can really go side by side. And if you do, you're both losing tons of time.
It's definitely tricky, and there's not much.
Hingston on the outside of Opp. He's making the pass for first.
There he goes. Hingston is through, going into this penultimate corner, really. But, oh, getting a little squirrely on exit there. Op will have some slipstream to try to make it work back down through the straight.
Almost too early.
Yeah, these are some talented drivers right here. 3,000, 5,000 I-rating drivers. They certainly know how to race.
As you might expect, yes, Aiden Young has caught up to that trio. You know, them getting all mixed up with each other. Oh, wow, and Op's now going to lose, but back down to third. What a lap that was. Great opportunistic pass for first, and then finds himself back down in third again.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's not where he's going to stay, though, because we've got a while to go in this race. We still have about half of it, about 7 minutes left. And obviously, we'll have the feature race after this where they'll all go back to 8th, 7th, and 6th place, no matter where they finish in this top 3. They'll be one of those. So they'll have to work their way back up through the field again.
Rob A. West passing Charlie Pouillier there. Nice little pass, taking advantage of Pouillier going just a little bit wide after being a little bit sketchy on the brakes.
I really like that paint from Rob there. The blue wheels really tie it together.
We have not, other than that lap one, we haven't seen any huge incidents, which is nice to see. You know, not a lot of huge crashes or spins catching a bunch of people up. You never want to see that.
No, I think it's been very, very clean throughout, but Micah Hendricks really looking to take this position off of Mr. Biasiotto.
Yeah, he's kind of had the same thing that Bandit Op had last lap, where he's too close to catch up to him halfway through the straight, and then you either have to pull out too early and you get buffeted by that wind, or you just have to sit behind him and then lose the advantage of the slipstream.
Yeah, and speaking of losing the advantage of the slipstream, that's Gabriel Duarte, and that's Patrick Hingston. Patrick has managed to pull quite the gap, almost a second and a half off of that trio they were in.
Yeah, well, coming into the Op and Duarte actually, yeah, Op and Duarte, my bad, fought through turn one there. Duarte had actually lunged ahead into turn one, and then Op did a great job of a switchback into turn three, and was able to take advantage of that.
Ah, so that must be where they lost that time. Still going at it though.
Ooh, a crash by Troy Fenelon there in turn one. Looks like he mostly got away with it. He has a little bit of damage on the car, but just lost it in the Senna S there.
A little damage never hurt nobody. We've seen quite some door banging already today, so I'm sure a little bit more won't kill anyone, as Jack Buser is chasing down Martial Chevelle.
I bring attention at the front of the field.
That is
spun
around car. Look at that. That is Troy
yeah.
Fenelon in the all-black port. Oh, that's not Troy Fenelon. That's a different one.
Fenelon's in pink as Micah Hendricks.
Fenelon
spins out here in the S's. Got a little uncomfortable there.
Just on his own. Not like. Let's see what happened with Micah Hendricks now. Take a look back here. Oh, just a little bit too much in the rear end. These rear-engine Porsches can be hard to handle sometimes, and became a little bit too much this time around.
And in turn one there, just a few seconds ago, Devin Horvath into the back of Aiden Young. Aiden Young kind of got caught out by Op and Duarte. He was very close to him. Op and Duarte were in front and were battling so much it was slowing him down.
Yeah. Now look at Michael McLeod, Jack Buser, and that's Ryan Winfelt behind him. Rob A. West trying to join the party as well, going on Winfelt. They're nice and tight going through this middle sector here, although nothing comes out of it really.
Yeah, we saw Buser make that pass on McLeod a few laps ago. Seemed like he had way more pace, but he hasn't been able to really pull away.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Gabriel Duarte sizing up the move on Bannock Op sizing up the move on Gabriel Duarte once again. Oh, they almost touch it, looks like. They're getting awful close to each other here. Take another look.
They've been very evenly matched.
They have quite some pace. We take a look at Duarte's wing. I like that. It's got his last name on. I think Bannock Op has the same thing as well. He's got his name on his rear wing. This is the view of Aiden Young.
He wants the inside, clearly wants the inside.
He definitely does. This is a great view to watch this battle. Bannock Op going for that switchback, as you mentioned. Can't make it happen, though.
It's good car placement by Duarte there.
Further back, oh, Rob A. West.
Turn 1's catching a lot of these guys out.
He's following Winfield and McLeod. Oh, late on the brakes and had to go wide to avoid taking out Ryan Winfield.
The difficulty with turn 1 is just how much you can't see. The apex and any cars that are in it are not visible to you until you come pretty close to, I mean, you're already like starting the braking event. So it's very difficult, and it's not surprising to see drivers get caught off guard.
No, and Ali Hunt losing positions to Charlie Pouyer as they go through the middle sector now. This whole track is very, very windy with elevation changes. It's like a roller coaster, but it's hard to see the apex sometimes.
Ryan Bickle had a little spin there in turn 4. Lost a few positions. Luckily, nothing more than just a little bit of a lost rear end there.
Yeah, he saved it quite well. Managing
that
to
is
keep
like
the
3
car.
guys went through. Oh, wow.
And we come back to Ali Hunt in the grass. This is not rallycross, so he'll want to get back on the pavement pretty soon. Almost
kind of just got taken out there. It wasn't a huge collision, but he didn't really do anything to cause that, and just got swiped and sent into the infield there.
Let's take another look. Oh yeah, a little neck code even that troubled him. Let's take a look. Dan Marrera had some problems as well. Just a little dip in the grass, and it turns out to be a spin. Francois Schink.
Unfortunate wreck by Philippe Schiafarelli as well.
Yeah, that's Francois Schink, just a little bit too wide, and Philippe Schiafarelli
takes to the pits after this.
Oh, too wide. That'll cause some significant damage.
These aren't F1 cars, so I mean, if you don't take the right line, the car's not going to hang on through that section there, despite the fact that it is flat out.
Yeah. All right. Well, back out front, Patrick Hingston. That gap is 3.6 seconds now. He's doing pretty well for himself. Although this does mean he'll start in.
This is the last lap too.
It is.
Snuck up on us there.
There's so much action, it just flies by.
Definitely keep an eye on Bannock Op then if we're coming up to the end here, because he's right on the back of Duarte. Surly, Hingston, easy win, almost 4-second gap, and may end up actually pulling up to that 4 seconds by the time we cross the line.
Yes, so Hingston takes the flag to win the sprint race, and Bannock Op looking to make it work down to the line.
Duarte will be okay.
Oh! Oh, Duarte takes second place over Bannock Op. And we've got a few more little battles. They are all so close as they come across the line. I don't know who to watch here. So many things happening. But,
Carrillo back on Bickle, but that's not quite close enough.
Yeah. All right, Bickle in 22nd. Ahead of Carrillo.
Oh, Roshan and Schink, who took it there.
Looks like
Schink kept it by a 10th.
Alrighty, well, that was quite action-packed. And now we've got a race with about double the length coming up.
And Francesco gets that coveted reverse grid spot, and unfortunately Jack Buser there in 9th. Odd man out, having to start 9th. Will not get his position flipped with the rest of the top 8.
Unfortunate. So Patrick Hingston's going to end up going all the way back to 8th place. And Gabriel Duarte to 7th, and so on. So really the only person that doesn't change is Devin Horvath. And I guess P9 to P31.
We saw some impressive jumps up the field. I mean, Charlie Pouyer there, he started in 21st, finished 12th. Some other drivers that gained a lot of positions. I mean, we saw Ryan Bickle start in 30th, finished 22nd. Obviously, a couple guys had some incidents that took them to the back of the field, but some good hard chargers. Jack Buser, we just mentioned, unfortunately, there in that odd man out 9th position, but he started 17th.
Yeah, we certainly saw some great races from some people. We also saw a few heartbreaks. Marco Valverde comes to mind with his contact with Aiden.
Yeah, Micah Hendricks as well.
But
Philippe Straffarelli.
Pretty solid race overall, and now we get to watch it happen again for double the length. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the aggression, if there's any sort of, if the drivers seem to drive differently, knowing that it's going to be a longer race or not.
Oh, I'm sure they will, but you'll have to stick with us, as that's Martial Chevelle driving the wrong way in the pit lane.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way you're supposed to go.
I wouldn't think it is, but maybe he makes his own rules. We'll never know.
We saw really not too many people make any big mistakes on that standing start for that sprint, so we'll see if anybody really aces the start this time. But I don't think anyone really gained too many spots going into turn 1. I saw a couple slow getaways, but nothing too out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it seemed pretty solid from everybody. Generally, I guess not in a league dedicated to Porsche Cup, but it's very, very easy to get on the throttle a little bit too hard and loop it around and take out a couple people with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's there's a lot of people who don't really practice starts as much. You focus so much on doing the racetrack, and you're learning the turns, and whenever you start a session, you're in the pits. So not a lot of people actually do a ton of practice on their standing starts, and the ones who do, it really pays off for them.
It definitely does. I know some people were talking about almost setting it up like an F1 car, where you bind the button to full clutch, and then you hold your physical clutch at about half or whatever the bite point is, and that does pretty good for you. So I know some people that do take it very seriously, and it shows because they keep it pretty clean on the starts here.
Gridding up time again.
It is that time. Francesco is going to start from pole this time around, as he finished 8th in the sprint race. So 8th place now takes pole. All the cars gridding up, only a few more, 2 more people to make it to the grid, and we'll see that start to happen.
Don't envy the guys who have to start diagonal back there in the back.
No, that does not seem like a fun thing, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are on. Now they're out, and Francesco leads them away from the grid, looking pretty clean, but Lampere takes the lead into turn 1. Great start from him. Francesco is behind, and I hear a lot of door banging going on back there. Seems to be clean. Oh, sideways contact, side by side, 3 wide. Oh, and off they go. And that's another one there. Troy Fenelon going around the wreck.
Carrillo again.
Oh, and Ali Hunt swerving over to the left, almost took somebody with him. Contact though into Choi Young. Young Choi. Oh boy, there are issues all over the field here.
Okay, so the aggression went up, actually.
Yes, for the longer race, there is more aggression on lap 1, or maybe just smaller mistakes. Gabriel Duarte from P7 is now 2nd before the lap is even over. What a start from him. Wow.
Hard to believe, but both Philippe Straffarelli and Michael Carrillo, who both had kind of cursed first heats, are both involved in big incidents there, and Straffarelli actually towed.
Yeah. Well, that is quite a start.
Lopez wide there. He's going to lose a couple more spots.
Oh, boy. So Francois Schink has jumped to the pits along with Philippe Straffarelli, and now Devin Horvath is under fire from Marco Valverde, as he's going to get that move done with his straight line speed. And Francesco Biasotto, who started first, is now down to 9th after lap 1.
Just going wide there in Jun Sao. He lost like 5 positions. It was he really had to get off the gas. And again, we mentioned in quals, that's an incredibly important corner to nail.
Look how close Bannock Op is on the bumper of Marc Lampaert.
Oh, wow.
He gets the move done, and looks like Jack Buser is using the Lewis Hamilton track limits there in that turn 6. Wow. Gabriel Duarte, I don't think we can understate. He was P8 or P7 on the beginning of lap 1 and P1 by the end of it.
Yeah, incredible start to this race. Obviously did well in practice, did well in quals. And there Lampaert there getting sent on by Hingston. Hingston making his own charge side by side. And he's kind of have to sit back again, try to fight after Jun Sao here.
Yeah, one person to recognize here, Micah Hendricks. He's up 7 places this race, along with Ariel Julian, up 12 places. Not too bad.
Yeah, a lot of guys there. Of course, let's try not to pay attention. We got like 7 guys who unfortunately were kind of crashed on lap 1 there. So certainly get some bonus through those, but. Oh, and Hingston there making the move into P3.
Yeah, so let's see if I can...
So we got those top 3 again out there. Same guys.
It hasn't really cooled down, but I think we're going to take a look back at that lap 1 replay just to see if we can find out a little bit of what happened here. Aaron Hall gets turned by the car, the number 444, and then more carnage ensues in front of him. I believe that's Charlie Pugier in the 444 car. And then up ahead, no, this is the same area. Oh, boy. Then Dan Morera, also sideways. All sorts of chaos and carnage, and Rob A. West. This is into the next turn here. Let's see. Oh, into the grass goes Young Choi. And that's what sends everybody else going. All right.
Yeah, Lummer, he had some room.
Yeah. Unfortunate start. Now Ariel Julian is up to 15th. So that's a 15 position gain on the day, on the race for him. Very, very, very good.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at his lap times, he's got the pace of the guys that are, the next few guys in front of him at least, too. So his charge may not be over yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch him make his way up as
Micah Hendricks. What happened there?
That looks like Aiden Young locking up a little bit in turn 1, losing the spots to Marco Valverde. And
Michael McLeod had a spin in the infield just a little bit ago. It's earlier in that previous lap.
This is Micah Hendricks going a little bit wide to try to avoid that. And that's Michael McLeod, you can see in the corner of the screen there. Just has to wait for a safe time to rejoin the track behind that Pfaff-liveried Porsche Cup car there.
Yeah, rough place to lose it. The track really starts to get skinnier in that section once we get to Ferradura through that whole middle section. That's real tough on the drivers. It also is thinner than the rest of the track is.
It is. Aiden Young getting his elbows out on Marc Lampaert, but just can't make it work.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fighting through this last lap here. Lampaert actually, and that was a little messy there.
Let's see if we can take another look.
I think Aiden Young accepts fault on that one. It was an accident. They kind of dumped him there.
Here he goes into the left-hander.
Yeah, Devin Horvath all over the back. Aiden Young now as well, coming into turn 1. Maybe enough pace here to make a move. He's going to the outside.
He's got that
make a move on both sides.
Both sides, both lines work.
Yeah.
Horvath just does not have it.
Yeah, seemed like Aiden Young just was much better on the brakes there. It seemed had, more efficiency. He braked later, but then it actually got more slowed down.
So, great defending is what we could call that. As we take a look further back in the field, this is Micah Hendricks looking to make the move on Mark Santana as he's under fire from behind with
Yeah, by Stefan Chalavu.
Yeah. Although he's gonna survive another corner. We've got action.
There's battles all across this field right now, and certainly you pointed one out there. Right now, that's about five or six cars deep. Just guys really fighting for those positions, and that's around the 20th position kind of range.
Yeah, there's just action everywhere. I'm not sure where to look.
Right now, we've got going into Jinsao, we got Buser, Horvath, and Young. Definitely would try to keep an eye on that up near the front of the field in that pro class.
That dive there from Mr. Hendricks makes the pass very nicely on Mark Santana.
Trying to make some spots back from what he lost earlier.
But up close, we're side by side as Francesco and also Ryan Winfeld, and he gets the move done.
Yeah, good pass. Certainly had the advantage coming into turn one, so he must have just done a lot better there on Jinsao.
Yeah, there are cars within a second of each other over the whole field. Oh, and that is Troy Fenelon having a little issues going through the grass in the Senna S.
He's probably got a pretty hefty slowdown that he's got to burn off right now as well. Oh,
Getting
got a little close to the competitor there.
That's Aaron Hall.
Looking up at the front, again, those three guys, Duarte, Opp, and Hingston, starting to pull away again from fourth place. And again, those guys have the three fastest laps as well. They're the only three drivers who have been in the 33s. So it's the podium, as long as they don't make a mistake, the podium does seem like it might be set just based on these guys' pace. But those guys in fourth, fifth, sixth are not letting them take it too lightly.
Yeah, and despite that little tap of the bumper there from Horvath on Young, Young is able to manage it nicely and stay ahead.
He's under a lot of pressure right now from multiple cars behind, and he doesn't have the advantage of very much of a slipstream in front from Valverde.
No. Charlie Pouyer is trying to chase down
Horvath making a move. About equal going to turn one. Again, it just seems like Young's better on the brakes, but Horvath fighting him a little bit more this time, trying to earn that space in the second apex, and he does.
He does earn it, and now he's going to have that run for the straight.
Nice.
But
Nice. That was a pass made by Bravery. You know, really commanding that space on that apex. But now we got some overspeed by Buser.
Buser's got the speed, and Francesco has the bravery to try to hold it in there, but he just can't. So Buser ahead of Young and Francesco right on the bumper.
Back out here, right?
He's got that speed. He's gonna try for it, but nothing he can do.
They're still fighting
Horvath side by
Buser
side.
and
Still.
Horvath. Oh, a little bit of a tap.
More love taps. Horvath back behind Young. He loses the spot to Buser. Oh, but Young doesn't have
inside,
it.
Yeah.
It is so tight up here, and then back here we've got Benjamin Roche.
Sent by Young. Side by side again. Okay, it looks like Horvath's going to survive there.
Oh, I'm just trying to see the whole battles everywhere, but they just keep the action coming from those three.
Oh, a sin through Jinsao there.
Horvath going off track a little bit. He manages to get that speed. Francesco's got that speed on Young now. And it's looking like he might have it, but Young's getting that slipstream from Horvath.
I think it was advisable to try to make a move through that turn, you know, just try to get some extra, because now he's really struggling with Lopez there on his outside. Oh, and a lockup by Horvath, sending him way deep.
Yeah, so Young, with that inside line that he's loved and used so well, gets to keep it, and he'll have that place with Horvath many positions behind. Oh, that's Lampere and Horvath into the wall. Oh, and he's right in the middle of the wall.
Earlier, the track starts to move in a little bit, and the guy on the left doesn't realize and doesn't give room to the guy on the right. Same thing happened earlier.
Yeah, an aerial there. This blue car, he's up 19 positions, but that was almost undone by the flying Horvath there. If we take a look at that one more time. Here they come.
Lampere just doesn't realize Horvath's space is running out on the side there because the curb goes away, and so then he has to get back.
And look how close Ariel was to being taken out. Wow.
That was lucky no one else was involved in that. That was a big wreck.
Very lucky. But Micah Hendricks chasing down Michael McLeod, who's making his return to racing in this league.
Hendricks on a real recovery drive here, and he's doing it quite well. I mean, up to 15th already, but he's got some more spots that he can definitely get. We're not even halfway through this race.
Yeah, he definitely has a great chance. That last race is over in 2 minutes, but this one, double the length, still has 17 minutes to go. Uh-oh.
Yeah, some other big movers. Yep. Oh.
This is Bickle and Ali Hunt.
Oh, that's... Yeah,
Ali Hunt. Oh, they're blocking quite a chunk of the track there, holding their brakes nicely. Everybody's going to filter around. They're both tailing.
Yeah, there's really no excuse to be wrecking on a straight like that. I know it curves a little bit, but you know, there's got to be some sort of... The drivers really have to be able to communicate with each other with their cars on that one.
Yeah, it might be one of those cases where you just get so much of a better exit that you're not expecting, and then you run out of room. I don't know. But what I do know is this man right here in that 613 blue Porsche is on a rampage, up almost 20 positions if he can pass Carl Ribbing. Started in 30th, up to 11th. That's quite a achievement.
Yeah, the drivers are probably feeling a little bit of tire wear. The pace has dropped a little bit. Again, the guys up front have their best laps in the 33s, 33.9s for all three of them. But now a lot of their last laps 34.3, 34.9, 35.1. So the pace is definitely starting to drop. Oh, and Micah Hendricks, unfortunately, recovery drive undone again.
Yep, all the way back down. He's now 19th, 20th where he started. Marco Valverde, who had a rough race in the sprint after he had contact with Aiden Young in turn one, same place where he lost it all last time. Minor lockup, but
yeah,
nothing
that was a good
too
save.
Bad. So now that Aiden Young we just mentioned getting overtaken by Francesco in the 14. Great move.
Cut back on him.
But he just can't make it stick. He needs this inside line to really work for him. We've seen it work in the past.
Yeah, Young just kind of has to pull out of it. Lopez needs to take care of the apex here, block it off, close the door. He doesn't quite do it. Goes a little bit deep, but it's inside
line. So some great racing from these two. Very, very close.
Really brave send and then smart to kind of try to park it on some of those apexes afterwards. Yeah, Bickle there came out of the pits and just letting people through, but even still, then unfortunately makes a mistake.
Too much
goes to
on
the pits again.
Tires. All right, so the action is not quite as tight as it was. It feels a little bit more spread out now, but not too bad.
So Micah Hendricks there making another pass for his second attempt at the recovery drive. He's not letting it get to him, you know, couple spins because he's just made up yet another position.
Here's Marco Castro out of the pits and a little bit too much into the corner. So, still quite tight with Aiden Young and this group up here, Francesco. And Ryan Winfeld's also joining this party now. But
yeah, and Samuel Sproul, a name that I don't think we've mentioned yet, certainly mired himself there in that 4-car battle.
he has. He's down 6 positions though. He's been bleeding this race.
Well, with the reverse grid, it's not too much of a. It doesn't really mean anything too bad just because he lost positions from that. Because I mean, are we really surprised to see Duarte, Hingston, and Opp there at the top 3 to have gained all those positions?
Not quite. Hingston with a 4-second lead. Pretty impressive.
Duarte.
Oh yes, Duarte with a 4-second lead, and Hingston not quite.
Which surprises me. Seemed like Hingston was the guy who was kind of turned it on in that first heat and was able to just start to sail away, partially due to Duarte and Opp kind of battling each other, but he just looked like he had the best pace, but not in this heat.
Yeah, well, Duarte picked up that momentum in the beginning, going up those 6 positions in the beginning. Oh, that's Young and Francesco.
Young. Lopez involved there, I believe.
Young makes it out. Yes. All right. Now, Ariel Julian up 22 positions in this race.
Yeah,
wow.
That's unbelievable. Dan Rare up 16, but yeah, 22 is crazy.
22 is quite the number, my friend. This is what happened between the two. Young, with that inside line, he's come to know and love. Just doesn't work out this time.
Aaron Hall and Stephen Chalafu fighting really hard there. Coming into turn 4, side by side. Looks like Hall's going to be able to send through. Hall was ahead, then lost it, and has regained the spot again.
There we go. Aaron Hall up to P16. And now Hingston and Opp. These two, we've seen some great battles in the sprint race, and now we're going to see them go at it one more time in this feature race that has about 12 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Ops clearly found something this lap because caught quite a lot up to the Hingston there, and last lap was 0.2 faster, but I think he's more than that this time. Wow, he's got so much speed coming in here.
Oh, there he goes.
Super late spin.
Super late, and it's gonna make it. He's side by side, but just can't make it stick.
Way to keep his head on Hingston's part there.
Very nicely defended against, although it was a very good execution, should I say, of Opp with that late move. Just couldn't get the momentum.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
No, came out of nowhere, really.
I thought for sure he resigned himself to sticking behind for that lap, but yeah.
And now he's back down about 6/10 off of the back of Hingston. So we'll come back to them because right now Rob West and Aiden Young are about to go side by side, as that's also, who is that? That's Santana that lost 2 positions in that corner there. Now Young, who was up in P4, is all the way down in 13th because of that incident in turn 1. He went into Francesco, who is still in 10th, so not too bad. Not too much of a loss for him. He lost about 3
positions. The way that they collided was not too bad. It was kind of a high speed, but it was just like side to side instead of them like blowing off each other's wheels or something.
Yeah, not too dangerous.
We're going airborne, as we have seen.
Yes. So Patrick Hingston keeping it ahead for another lap, but
Carrillo goes down. Around.
Here's Winfeld. Winfeld on Sproul. He's got that inside line. He had a lot of speed coming into turn 1. He's gonna make it into an overtake.
Yeah, okay.
Nicely done. Looked like he almost lost it on the exit there, but
it did.
He holds it on. He holds on to it, and that's Ariel Julian looking to make the pass as well. He's got the slipstream.
Definitely want the inside.
Does he have the speed?
Oh wow, so much speed there.
Sproul.
Oh, but
Sproul.
It's a little out of control there.
And a little bit too much on the brakes, and that's going to cost him another position. He's down 2 positions on this lap. Francesco going for the move on Carl Ribbing. Oh, never mind. He's going to back out a little bit. He wants that position. He's got the pace. He's been catching up to Carl. He just hasn't had the opportunity just yet, so he'll find that pretty soon.
Yeah, like I said earlier, with that corner of Ferradura there, you have to sort it out before. We haven't seen a lot good come from drivers going side by side. I think we've seen it maybe a couple times able to do it, but I mean, even when they successfully are able to, they lose a lot of time to the guys in front of them.
Yeah, they do. But let's give a round of applause to this number 613 car here. 23 positions gained with 8 minutes to go in the race.
And let's just be clear, he's not just getting this through like wrecks and stuff. I mean, last lap he did a 134.9. Leaders are doing 134.4s. He's only half a second off of the leading three.
He's doing very, very well for himself. So really deserving of the P7, and he could even make that P6, P5. He is, maybe, yeah, he's got a chance.
He's right on the back of Winfell, that's for sure.
P5 is attainable if there's some sort of issue, but P6 for sure.
Currently, Buser in P5, who we've also seen have a really strong race, and he's right on the back of Marco Valverde.
Yeah, Valverde with a nice strong race, up 9 positions after he had to start lower with some issues in the last race.
And Buser, the one who was stuck with that unwanted 9th place, but has actually made up positions from it and put himself up in the 5th. Again, he was one who qualified 17th, finished 9th in the first heat, and is now up to 5th. So another huge charger through both of these heats.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good racing. Really strong showings from a lot of people, and some people, the race hasn't gone how they wanted exactly, but hey, a race is a race, and that's racing. It happens. We have still another 10 weeks to make that up, and we've got drop weeks as well. That is what happened to Stefan. Just gets sideways and goes into that wall. He hasn't towed just yet.
Oh, it's so weird. He has some damage to the rear left before that. I'd have to think that had some sort of impact.
Oh,
and Valverde.
Buser is off track.
Buser, yeah.
What did I say about Julian here? He could make
if
P6.
there's a mistake, he can get one.
And he can make P5 now because, Buser recovered actually.
Yeah, he was able to save it. Definitely lost some time and was not able to gain that spot over Valverde like he was trying. It was a pretty good send, but wasn't able to get it slowed down enough, went off track. And if you go too far off track there, you hit that little grass patch, and that's just what took him out.
Yeah, I had figured he was a bit further behind, but no, he's still up ahead, but far more attainable now.
Down to just 5 minutes, by the way.
Oh, only 5 minutes remaining. Wow, this race is flying by.
Yeah, Duarte through Junstall now, and when he crosses the line, it'll be 3 laps to go.
Only 3 laps to go now. This is so much action to make this race just fly by as Benjamin Roche goes for the move on Michael Carrillo. Michael Carrillo just holding on though.
Yeah, Carrillo was Carrillo made the pass for 20th. Roche fought back, and then Carrillo was able to get it back again. And again, Carrillo was one who's been caught up in first lap incidents on both races. So doing well to stick with it and make up some positions, but this will probably be a night for him to forget.
I'd say, as Rob West just can't make the move happen on Aiden Young. Unfortunately for him, he'll have 2 more chances into turn 1 to maybe hopefully make that move work, but not just yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of places on this track to make a pass, which is one of the great things about it, and we've certainly seen it through both of these races. It's moves all over the place.
There definitely are. That's Francesco there.
Watson. That wasn't too bad.
Let's see what we got
Could've
here.
been a lot worse.
Just going off track a little bit. Now,
Oh, Aiden Young, what happened there? Aiden Young disconnected. Was in the middle of driving. I don't know what happened.
packet loss, possibly?
It says he manually disconnected, so I'm not sure. He was driving down Red Pasta, going down to turn 4, hit the brakes, went in to turn in, and then his car just disappeared.
Interesting. Well, here goes Ariel on Ryan Winfelt, and he's gonna make it work. So far, he's ahead into the corner. He's got the optimal line. He's better on the brakes, and that's it. He's got the
Nice
position.
pass.
Up into P6 for Ariel. Very well done. That makes it 24 positions in this race. And with just about a lap and a half, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Duarte's looking very comfortable out there. Now a 6-second lead. None of those guys in the top 5 anywhere really that close to each other. The close battles are further back, like we're seeing Young Choi and Benjamin Roche there getting involved with each other.
Yeah, one of the downsides of dominating these races is you get less screen time, actually. Kind of think it's the other way around.
Yeah, my event screen is just backlogged with people who go off track for half a second because, like I said, the track limits here are so strict, especially there in turn 4. So not surprising to see that, but a lot of drivers who have been able to keep it on track for this entire race, which, like I said before, it's not an easy track.
It's definitely not an easy track, but these guys have been doing pretty well to keep it clean and keep it eventful. So thank you to all the racers that have come out here tonight and participated with us, making a great show for our first showing as a broadcast team for you guys.
Dan Marrera and Carl Ribbing there. Is Carl Ribbing maybe like running out of fuel or something? Ribbing just like totally letting off. He was ahead by a ton going into turn 1, and then huge lockup by Marrera though. Marrera, another huge charger for this race, but has another shot here.
It's possible. They were pretty close on fuel
lap,
calculations. This is the last lap. All right. Well, Ribbing was all the way up with Francesco for a while, but now he's way back. So I'm not sure what's going on with him.
He was lifting huge on the straight. I don't know what was going on.
It's very possible that it's problems with his fuel.
Yeah, we've given a lot of praise to Ariel Julian, but certainly Dan Marrera deserves just as much. Moving up 18 spots for this race.
Not too bad at all. So Gabriel Duarte, I think, is gonna make it one more lap. No, there's the checkered flag.
Just finishing. Yep, there it is.
All right.
This was really close.
So
Very close.
Duarte takes the flag to win the feature. Now we have to move our eyes.
Oh, that was a little messy.
Carl Ribbing.
There was some net code there, but
he's gonna slow down and let him take the spot back shortly. So Patrick Hingston takes 2nd place. Bannock Opp takes 3rd. Marco Valverde in 4th. Jack Puser in 5th. Ariel Julian finishing 24 positions up from where he started in 6th place. And yeah, what a great race.
Okay, yeah, he is. Well, I don't think he did, actually. He didn't. Ribbing still finished ahead. I don't know if he didn't know where the line was, but yeah, that was a bummer for them to come together there at the end. Still, though, a great race for Dan Marrera on the whole.
Certainly. That was a very, very fun race to watch, for sure, and I'm sure we'll see some more good racing next week. So, we have just about 4 more cars to cross the line. Make that 3. Gary Watson's going to cross that to make it 2. No, Gary Watson still make it 3. As they're still battling almost. Oh no. Hold on, what did we miss here? Ali Hunt and Stefan Chelafo. Oh, that's what happened
That
to
was
him.
weird.
And
His car just snapped. He didn't get in the grass or anything. It was in the middle of the track.
so that's
Chalfu did nothing to ask for that.
yeah, interesting. Okay, well, now they've all crossed the line. Ali Hunt didn't even make it to the finish line, unfortunately. So that's everybody to the line, meaning we could take a look at our results. So Gabriel Duarte takes the win. Great race from him. He led every lap except maybe lap 1, but he was in first by turn 2 of lap 2, starting from 8th or 7th. Patrick Hinkston takes second, followed by Bannock Opp, Marco Valverde, Jack Buser, Ariel Julian, who was up 24 positions, Ryan Winfeld, Samuel K. Sproul, Francesco Biasiotto, Michael McLeod, Carl Ribbing, Dan Morera, Rob West, Aaron Hall, Mark Santana, Marcial Chevelle, Troy Fenelon, Charlie Pouyer is 18th.
Then following those guys, we have Michael Carrillo in 19th, Young Choi, Benjamin Roche, Gary Watson, Marco Castro, Stefan Chalafu, Ali Hunt, Aiden Young, Micah Hendricks, and Ryan Bickle.
Not too bad at all. So let's see if we can take a look at our points. I don't think we can. But those will be updated on the spreadsheet for everybody to look at on the Discord. And what a wonderful race that was. Any final thoughts about it, Zach?
Oh, it was certainly exciting. The 2 heat format's great. We get a lot of action there. Starting from the race starts, and a lot of really respectful driving. A couple unfortunate incidents. Some net code playing its hand, but it was a great race overall, and I'm excited for next week. One of my favorite tracks of all time, Mosport.
Mosport is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful track. It's actually where I did one of my first league races. And, really great. Really, really great track. So, next Thursday at the same time, we'll be doing some racing there in these Porsche Cup cars.
Looking forward to it.
All right, Zach. Well, this has been quite the race. I'm Tom Corner. That's Zach Purcell with me in the booth, and we'll see you next week.